Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. It is Monday morning and I just woke up. I'm sitting here on the couch under a blanket. It is a little chilly this morning and foggy. It's very foggy. I'm going to turn the camera around in a minute and show you this fog that I'm looking out the window. I'm not out for my walk yet. I'm still going. I have a doctor's appointment this morning at 8:15. And so I'm getting ready right now to go in and get ready for that. I'm getting blood work done today, so we'll get to find out what my labs are. And also getting a checkup on my blood pressure. I don't know if y'all remember, but when I went to the doctor about a month or so ago, my blood pressure was high. My blood pressure is never high. And they were quite concerned with it, so much so that they wanted me to buy a blood pressure cuff and monitor my blood pressure and keep track and take it to them when I see them in a month, and then they'll take my blood pressure again. And honestly, my blood pressure has been pretty normal this whole time that I've been taking it. There's been a couple times where it's been a little elevated, but we're going to see about that too this morning. When I get back, I'll probably go out for my walk. So just wanted to get the video started, and I'll keep you updated on what's going on today. There's the fog. Can't even really see the lake. It's starting to lift a little bit. I got a question for you all. Do you ever just partially make the bed because someone is feeling extra comfy in the morning and wants to sleep in? Yeah, I partially made the bed around the dog.
So it is 9:30. I'm back from my doctor's appointment. I was going to grab something to eat. I was going to make my porridge, and I had my little pot out on the stove and everything, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do what I normally do. I'm going to go for my walk, and then I'm going to eat. So I'm walking, and then I'm going to go back home and make some breakfast. So doctor appointment went well. Basically, it was a wellness checkup, and I had blood work done, and I'm sure, you know, in the next day or so, I'll be getting my results on my chart. I really like my nurse practitioner. She's young and she's really easy to talk to. I want to show you all something. So this is the area that I love here, right? All over. See that like cobweb or whatever that is? It's all over the whole field here. These little like, geez, it looks like a cobweb. That's very interesting. Anyway, it's all over out there. Just thought I would throw that in there. But my blood pressure was normal. I don't know what was going on a month ago when I went in there and it was elevated. Could be, you know, I was going to a new doctor after so many years of going to the same doctor. It was fine. Just talking to her a little bit about my YouTube channel, and we were talking about how people find out that they're diabetic. A lot of times, instead of adjusting their diet, they will take the medication because it's the easy way out, you know? I said, well, even if you are diabetic and you get on medication, you still need to watch what you eat. She said, that's right, but most people, they don't want to do that. They don't want to do the hard work. She said, we need you here, Paula. We need you as an advocate for these patients that come in here and they just want an easy way out. They don't want to work hard at it. She said that she has told a few patients about my channel, so I think that's pretty cool. So I'm going to get 2 miles in right now, and then I'm going to go back home and make some porridge, some egg white porridge. It sounds so good. It's chilly. I think that's going to be good. That's what I want for my first meal. Go ahead and walk here. I'm trying to up my pace, walk faster, and I'm starting to get really winded when I talk. So I'm going to get off and walk fast and do my 2 miles, and then I'll see you back at the house.
All right, so this is my first meal. I'm going to be having egg white porridge. There is some blueberries in here and some walnuts, and I also have some cinnamon here. I'm going to sprinkle on top, and my own macadamia nut milk that I made. in my little machine. I'm gonna make it for you later and show you how easy it is to make your own nut milk. The main reason why I wanted to make my own nut milk was to eliminate a lot of the ingredients that they put in the packaged nut milks that you buy. And so yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna have this, put a little bit more of this on here. And that's gonna be a great meal. So I have coffee too. Coffee. I'll see you in a little bit. I'm out for a little walk. I got my little Sapphira out with me. She decided that, she would quit being lazy and sleeping in the bed and go for a walk with me. It is beautiful out. I'm in a t-shirt. It warmed up really nicely. I have a couple of windows open in the house and I'm doing some cleaning. Just Monday cleaning, after the weekend. Just some dusting and vacuuming and getting the house back in order. And I thought I would... Where'd she go? She's after a chipmunk. Come on. Come on. I decided I would get her out for a little walk, get some sunshine, and check the mail, that kind of thing. I want to talk about something on this little walk. I want to talk about some different foods that I have cut back on since I started eating leaner. When I first started eating this way, I did the traditional high-fat keto. That was like 4 years ago. I did what most everybody does. I loaded up on butter and I loaded up on the fat on the steaks. And we're going to go this way. I'm filming with my phone, by the way. I forgot to grab my camera on the way out the door. It's nice to have options. It might look a little different. The traditional high-fat keto, eating all the butters and the MCT oils and all the fats, right? And I'll tell you, my body healed just from eliminating sugar and grains and ultra-processed foods and seed oils. My body went through a really great healing period, and I did lose some weight. And I was consistently, very slowly losing weight. And so I decided, I don't know how long ago now, it's been a little while, to start cutting back on the dietary fat because I want to burn body fat. If I'm eating all this dietary fat, then my body is busy burning that, right? And so I'm trying to get my body to release and burn some of those stored fat cells that have been in there for a long, long, long time, right? So I have been increasing my protein, eating leaner proteins. Now, that being said, I still have some fatty foods, okay? I still cook with butter. Sometimes I use olive oil. It's a little bit lighter of a choice. I still eat the ribeye steaks. I've just cut back on using a lot of butter and eating the fat on the steaks. And instead of heavy cream, just one of the foods that I've cut back on in limited use. I am using half and half now. It cuts the fat and the calories. So it's a great option. Do I prefer heavy cream? Yes, I do. It's creamier, it's thicker, it's richer. Hopefully I'll eventually get to a point where I can start adding those things back in, We'll see how that goes. Right now I am working on getting some fat off, okay? So some of the foods that I've cut back on are heavy whipping cream. Now, most days I have half and half. Yesterday I went to a little specialty coffee shop and I got an Americano and I got a splash of heavy whipping cream because they had it there. It sounded so good. So I did have that, okay? Not saying I don't have these foods. I just have them in limited amounts. Another food that I have cut back on, which is a big one for me because I like having these to snack on sometimes on movie night. I like making my crispy breading and breading certain foods, some good chicken tenders and that kind of thing with this, and that is pork rinds. Pork rinds are a very low carb
option to use as a tool for snacking, but they're high in fat and calories. And when you're tracking, you'll be like, whoa, I can't believe it that they are that high in fat and calories. Pork rinds for me are something that I can overindulge in and sit and just eat and eat and eat. And you're getting a lot of fat and calories that way. So I still like to make my crispy breading this way, Sapphira, but I don't do it that often like I used to. I'll do it as a treat. I'll have some crispy chicken tenders because they're so good. Last time I made the crispy breading, I used a little more of the chicken flour than the pork rinds just to kind of bring back the fat ratio a little bit. So another food is bacon. I love bacon, okay? And I still have bacon once in a while, but I was having it every day as a side to my eggs. And I wasn't just eating like 2 pieces. I was eating like 5 pieces because bacon is so crispy and good. It's just like pork rinds. You could just keep eating and eating and eating, but it's the fat content, the calories. It adds up really quickly. Another thing is pork belly. Oh my goodness, that's a tough one because I really love pork belly. I like air frying pork belly and making it like crispy on the outside and chewy on the inside. It's such a good side. It's so good, okay? But I'm not making it that often because it's something else that I can overdo in fat and calories. So do I still have those things on occasion? Yes. But most days, no. And I'm now able to be at a place where I can finally shed some fat and it feels really good. So those things are great foods. I just think that they need to be used in moderation when you are trying to burn your own body fat. So my dog's off in the woods. I got to get her. I'll be back. The other day I showed you this new nut milk maker. Main reason why I want to start making my own nut milk is because I want to control the ingredients. I used to make my own almond nut milk years ago. Then I found out that the oxalates in the almonds in the nut milk could have been one of the reasons that I developed kidney stones. Since I'm prone to kidney stones, I'm now drinking macadamia nut milk. A friend of mine, Alicia, hi Alicia, shout out to Alicia, my friend. She told me that pecan milk is really good. I haven't made it yet, but that's something that I can make too because I do well with pecans. Pecans, macadamia nuts are lower in oxalates, and so that's what I'm aiming for. You can make any kind of nut milk that you want in this little machine. I want to show you how it works. It's so easy. Now, when I used to make almond milk, I used to have to soak my almonds overnight, and then I would blend them up in the blender and then strain them out and get my almond milk. This little machine is a no-soak machine. You don't have to soak your nuts. Just put them in and you just turn the little blender on. It does make some noise. It is like a blender going on and off for maybe, I think it's 30 minutes. I had nut milk, so it's no big deal to me. So I'm gonna plug this in. I have to move it over a little bit. I think it's still gonna be in the frame here. So I just put 750, is it milliliters? Yes, it's 750 milliliters of water in here. I have some raw macadamia nuts, and I'm going to put, I gotta get my glasses. Can't see a thing, I tell you. So, okay, this is zeroed out, 0 grams. I'm gonna put 50 grams of macadamia nuts in this little container. When I saw the small amount of nuts that you need in order to make, this is my nut milk that I made the other day, and I've already used this a couple of times. So it wasn't quite full, maybe 3/4 full. And I got quite a bit of milk with that small amount of nuts. This is the nut milk that I have been using. It is Milkadamia, macadamia nut milk, unsweetened. I use this to make protein ice cream with. I use this in my egg white porridge, use it in protein shakes. I use it in a lot of things. And so I've gone through a lot of these containers over the years. And there's just, additives in here that help to keep it from separating and help to keep it from going bad. This nut milk, it is suggested that you use this within 4 for 5 days. So they have to put those kind of things in here, but I want to try to avoid them. Cost-wise, I think that it's really great because this bag of macadamia nuts was $30 on Amazon. Ouch, right? But I was spending $30 on 6 of these from Amazon. My Meijer has them too, my grocery store in town. They are about the same price, almost $5 for each one. So 5 times 6 is 30, about $5 each, okay? When I calculated this bag of nuts and how much it would make, it ends up being about half of what I was spending on these, okay? And the ingredients are better. So I am saving money too, but that wasn't the biggest issue. I really want to watch my ingredients. So I'm going to put in 50 grams of macadamia nuts in here. I love my new scale. My scale is rechargeable. I will link it down below. I have had other scales that I recently donated because the batteries were always dying on me. And this is great because you can just recharge it every time you need to do it and there's no batteries needed. That's not a lot, right? So I'm gonna pour that in here. And you can add like vanilla in here if you want. You can add a date if you want to sweeten it with dates. Some people do that. I don't do that. I just like plain unsweetened milk. And so I'm just doing nuts and water. And I'm gonna put this little thing on here and I have to come around for a second. So this makes, this does make nut milk. It makes shakes. It makes hot soy milk, hot chowder. It has an auto clean setting, a keep warm setting. It makes oat milk and it also boils water and it has a delay on it too. So if you want to set it to start later on, it can do that for you, okay? Menu, I can't see. All right, it says 20 minutes. So it's gonna go on and off for 20 minutes. So I will just go vacuum while this is going and I won't really mind the noise because I'm gonna be vacuuming, all right? So I'm gonna come back in 20 minutes to show you what's the next step. It's all done, took 20 minutes. I just got done vacuuming the house, it worked out perfect. I have a nut milk bag that this came with and I'm going to use it to strain my milk into here. I'm just gonna add it to this because I use it up so quickly. I'll show you how much pulp I got out of this first batch. This is what was left after I strained the nuts. It's just pulp. And what I used to do with almonds is I would lay it out on a baking sheet and I would just toast it in the oven until it was all dried out. I can't remember the temperature. I'd have to go back and think about how I did that. I would have to do some research. And then I would grind it in like a little coffee grinder and I would have almond flour. So I plan on doing the same thing with this pulp from these nuts. You can freeze this as well, like if you want to wait until you get a nice little batch of it, and that's what I plan on doing. So I am going to show you now how I do this. So you put your little bag down in your jar and you want to, I'm not going to have it all the way down in there. So I'm going to bring it down like that because I don't want it down in the milk. All right. And then I'm going to unplug this and I'm just going to pour, I think you have to remove this lid. Okay. I'm just going to pour this in here. Look at that beautiful white milk. Okay. I got to make sure this isn't going to overflow. Might be pushing it a little bit. We got a little bit room left. I might need to pour this into an extra little glass. I have a little wide mouth mason jar. So I'm just gonna switch this over. You can already see that, I hope you can see, that all this pulp is gathering in this bag. And you just squish it out. And then I'm going to transfer to here just because I don't want to overflow. Feel like I'm milking a cow. That's pretty funny. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in here now that I feel safe. Now I have some delicious macadamia nut milk, and I have some pulp in here that I am going to add to this little jar. And I'm going to keep this, and then one day when I have a couple of cups of it, I'll dry it all out and turn it into a nut flour. There you have it, macadamia nut milk. And like I said, you can do this with almonds if you like almond milk and you feel comfortable drinking it. You can do it with pecans. I've even seen walnut milk. And I think it's a great way to have a low calorie, low fat, low carb milk that you can add to protein shakes, ice cream. You can make coffee creamer out of this. You can do a lot of things with it. So I will link this little machine down below. It's very easy to clean. It has a self-clean little button on it. You can plug it in, fill it with water. It'll do a little clean. It works great. And I'll be back.
I am working on dinner right now. In my air fryer, I don't want to open it, but I took some chicken breast and I butterflied them to make them flat. They were pretty thick pieces. And I just put them in a bowl and I marinated them with some olive oil and a little bit of white wine vinegar. And I also, that's my side dish. I also put this on the chicken, this Redmond's Real Salt, seasoned salt, and that's going in the air fryer. I have some Brussels sprouts here. These are frozen Brussels sprouts that I bought from Aldi, and they are in a steamable bag, but I don't like steaming them in the bag. I like pan frying them on the stove in a little butter with some salt. I put a lid on and just let them just cook until they are nice and soft. And so that's going there, and so I'll be back.
All right, it is almost 5:30 and I am having my last meal of the day. Ed is out in the woods hunting, so I'm dining alone. I am having grilled chicken breast. That's a big chicken breast. And a half a cup of cottage cheese. I put it away. I have Good Culture low-fat cottage cheese and some yummy Brussels sprouts. So this is gonna be a delicious dinner. It's gonna fill me up because it's packed with protein, and the Brussels sprouts are packed with fiber, and it's gonna be delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and eat, and then I'm gonna take my last walk of the day. I've got 9,000 steps. I gotta get 3,000 more in. So I'll go for another 20-25 minute walk, and I will hit my goal for the day. And that's all that's going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and eat and sign off. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you real soon. God bless.